And we go straight to business news. Stephen is with us here on set, starting with Uber's boss resigning from the company, Stephen.
The ride-hailing firm has confirmed that Travis Kalanick has stepped down from his role as chief executive. Kalanick founded Uber in 2009 and oversaw its growth to a giant in the transport industry. The New York Times saying his resignation came after pressure from shareholders. Kalanick had been due to take an extended leave of absence from Uber as recommended in a recent report into the management culture at the firm. Uber's backers, though, wanting him to distance himself further from the company. He will, though, remain on the firm's board of directors.
China now. Big news there for the country's stock market.
Chinese shares will for the first time be listed in a global benchmark of emerging market equities. It's a milestone in the drive to attract foreign investment to the country. The stock index provider MSCI will include the shares in their list from next year. It's a move that will see investment funds place some of the $1.6 trillion that they invest in emerging markets into Chinese shares. The China stock market is the second biggest in the world, but foreign investment currently counts for less than 2%. The influx of investment funds may also change the way the market trades in China. Until now, it's largely been dominated by small shareholders, something that's often blamed for the volatility of the markets in Shanghai.
So is that affecting the markets at all then, Stephen?
Chinese markets not particularly inspired by that move from MSCI. Shanghai seeing, though, more moderate losses, in fact gains towards the end of trading there, as you can see, outperforming the rest of the markets in the region. In Japan, I can tell you, shares in the airbag maker Takata plunging 25% over fears that it may declare bankruptcy. Here in Europe, shares opening down, London flat, although Paris and Frankfurt down too. The CAC 40, I can tell you, has been sliding since the open to down over 1% now. That, of course, after that news we're getting about the resignation of ministers from Emmanuel Macron's government. Investors obviously worried about that. Staying with politics, we're also keeping an eye on the value of the pound sterling today ahead of the Queen's speech. That had fallen yesterday after those reports. The Conservative Party had failed to reach a deal with the DUP on a government, so the pound trading at $1.26. That's at a level not seen since before Theresa May called the election. We'll move on now to look at some more of the day's business headlines for you. Ford is to shift production of its Focus model to China from 2019. The carmaker says it won't lead to job losses in the United States, where it's been under pressure to maintain employment. Ford scrapped plans to build a new factory in Mexico after pressure from US President Donald Trump. The company currently makes the Focus at plants in Michigan, Germany and China. The delivery service FedEx has posted better than expected sales and profits for the 3 months to the end of May. That's mostly down to increased volumes, as the company benefits from the boom in e-commerce. FedEx is planning to invest almost $6 billion in the company in the coming year, which will include upgrading its aircraft. And the insurance company Aviva is ditching its investments in tobacco. The firm has more than €1 billion invested in the industry. This follows similar moves from rival insurer AXA and the Irish Sovereign Wealth Fund.
Now, if you've been watching France 24 over the last few days, you know that Stephen's been out of the airport, haven't you? Le Bourget. It was hot.
Very hot, yes.
Very, very hot. Well, it has been very hot, and it's difficult as well for French businesses, like many of us, struggling with the heat.
As those temperatures climb towards 40 degrees in Paris, it's a particular headache for employers. Energy costs will jump, and many construction sites are being forced to adapt their working hours. Nicholas Rushworth has more.
A heatwave is making life very difficult for some businesses. It's hovered up to almost 40 degrees Celsius at some points of the day in Paris. This florist is only getting half the usual number of customers.
These plants are normally inside. They go in the shop, and the cut flowers, the bouquets, usually go outside. These plants don't sell as well. They don't draw people as much. And so we are seeing fewer customers come in.
This restaurant in Grenoble has Perrier flowing for the kitchen staff with temperatures around 35 degrees Celsius.
It's really difficult. We have to drink a lot of water, especially the waitresses. We're running all over the place.
Aside staff issues, energy costs can rise up to 10% for businesses using cold store areas. The construction industry too is especially sensitive to extreme weather.
The heat of the engine and the windows makes working unbearable.
Certain companies close work sites, others change working times to avoid the hottest part of the day, and that means delays for projects.
So hot without air conditioning. Thanks a lot, Stephen. He's very pleased to be in an air-conditioned studio.